Welcome back to MJL 3764 collecting Elvis on vinyl. Today I thought we'd take a look at some talking interview albums. I've got a few in my collection. They're not really my cup of tea, to be honest. They sort of get played 2 or 3 times and then put on the shelf. There's been a wealth of interview albums, especially after Elvis's passing. I've collected some of them, but as I say, they're not really my cup of tea, but we'll show them as some collectors like to collect them. This one I do believe is essential, believe it or not, having fun with Elvis on stage. As most fans know, this was actually issued during Elvis's lifetime. I don't think he had a lot to do with it, and it only had one run in the UK. It was issued in '75 and it wasn't issued again. So I think this is essential because it did come out whilst Elvis was alive, while most of the others came out after his passing. Although this is regarded as the worst album to be released during Elvis's lifetime, there's been a few clunkers since his passing. One of them was a bootleg album, which I don't own, which I'm sure you all know which one I'm referring to. It's the one with the Elvis's cousin's photo on the front, Bobby Mann's photo. I won't have that in my collection, but there is another one that I have here which is just as in bad taste. It doesn't actually even feature Elvis's speaking voice on it. Now, I got this one as a job lot, so I didn't actually buy it for the record, but this is the record I'm speaking about. It's called the Elvis Presley Seance, or the Elvis Presley Seance. According to what part of the country you're from, it don't matter. The Elvis Presley Seance. I hate to say it, but this was a UK release, so we are responsible for this atrocity. 1979 this was released. As I say, I got it in a job lot, and it looks like the previous owner had thrown it out and retrieved it from the bin, which is a shame because the only good thing I can say about this record is it's got a nice cover. Nice 3 shots of Elvis looking his best there. Apart from that, this is an appalling record. It's on Shadow Records. Unfortunately, at the time, a very revered, well-known disc jockey in England, Stuart Coleman, and a great Elvis fan and a great advocate for the Elvis Presley fan club, he got involved in this. Can't think why, but I certainly wouldn't have lent my name to this. There's the back cover. I'll try and hold that still for you so you can maybe pause it and read the back. Of course, it is in stereo, and it's got some information on the bottom. It's a clean record, wiped lightly with a damp cloth. So that's the back side of it. And the record looks like that, like a bad bootleg. Shame about the cover, really. Unfortunately, the cover's not mint. Unfortunately, the record is. I played it once, I believe. I couldn't play it again, but like I say, it wouldn't really be in my collection. It was only that it was thrown in as a job lot. So that's probably the worst Elvis album I had. Whether you believe this or not, I don't think they should put Elvis's name to this. Whether you believe in mediums or psychics or whatever, I don't think Elvis Presley's name should have been on this record at all. Plus, I mean, if Elvis would have come back and spoke to someone, he would have come back and spoke to his #1 fan in the world, and I haven't heard from him yet, so it can't be true, can it? Okay, let's get back to this one. Now, this one, I didn't get this album actually. It was the only album missing from my collection until 1987, which was this copy here from the Netherlands fan club. It's Elvis Time Records. I couldn't get this album in England at the time. Remember, there was no eBay, nothing like that, and I just couldn't get hold of it. The English copy, 75 press. So I did see a boxcar one, but unfortunately the guy wanted over £100 for it, which I wasn't going to pay. So a little bit of background on this album. I'm sure most fans know that this was originally sold under Colonel Parker's label, the Boxcar label, at Elvis concerts. Why he did this? A lot of different reasons, a lot of different theories. Some people say he was just trying to squeeze the last dime out of Elvis, as he realised that Elvis might have been going off the rails a little bit by 1974. Others say it was a spat with RCA. He'd realised after he'd sold the rights to all Elvis's recordings that they were issuing stuff like A Legendary Performer and Elvis 40 Greatest and making a lot of money. So he thought he might make a little bit on the side. But whatever, it was a terrible idea. We all know it's a talking album. There's nothing good I can say about it. In the end, RCA issued it themselves with some sort of deal with the Colonel. I don't think they were happy, even though it didn't have Elvis's singing voice on it. RCA weren't happy about it. The only thing good I can say about this album is the cover's not too bad. It features Elvis, 6 shots of Elvis in 1974, probably June 74, with the American Eagle suit, the newer suit, not to be mixed up with the Aloha suit. And for the time, we then realised, listening to this talking album, that RCA had recorded a lot more shows than what we had, so that was the only plus for me, was we knew they had some concerts in the can. So apart from that, it's just a money maker. And hopefully, there was a rumour that Elvis didn't like it and got it stopped. I hope that's true, because this is just a rip-off. Maybe if it would have just been sold at the concerts, maybe it might have been better, but to actually get a proper release, which you can find this in the record stores, no. Still looking for the Boxcar one. I'd like to own that, just to own it. But for now, I've only got 2 copies of this album. This one, from '87. Cover's pretty much the same, apart from they've got the It's Elvis Time logo on it. That's the back cover. It's part of one of the menus, I believe, in Vegas. That's the name of the company, and there's the label. So that's that one, and this one is a USA copy. Again, as I said earlier, I need to get a UK copy as well, really, so it's 2 copies I need of this. And that's on the mat. And the album's copy I have is on the tan Dynaflex in mono. It's got the nice inner sleeve to it as well. So that one, yeah, I would recommend you get that one if you haven't got it, because it was issued during Elvis's lifetime. Let's move on to another one now. This one's called The Elvis Interviews. This is the UK release, and it's on Ocean Records. This one came out in 1989. Cropped picture there on the front. Picture on the back. And there's the interviews. Some interesting interviews on there. It's got the Memphis 61, the Houston before the Astrodome performances, and the Madison Square Garden. They're not complete, I don't believe. I haven't played this for an awful long time. And label looks like that. It's a pretty nice label. Not a bad release. These were only, I believe, about £2.99 when I bought this, so they weren't expensive. These 2 pictures, this one and this one, have been used previously, 10 years before, in this release. Personally Elvis. If you open the gatefold, you'll see the same two pictures which were used on that album 10 years later. Nice gatefold cover. There's the tracks, and this one does feature some music, instrumental versions, etc., but not Elvis. So I'll let you have a look at the track listing there. And that's the front cover. Don't be fooled by this limited edition. I've seen plenty of these. I've got 2 copies. And obviously don't be fooled by the number either. Some people think that's they're individually numbered. This 10001. If you turn it over, you've got 10002 on the back. Well, that's on all of them. There's another copy there. That's the same number on every album. And that's the back side. Not a bad release at the time. Nice label, silhouette. Now, when it was originally issued, if you bought it early enough, there's another copy, that'd be the same, you got a transfer for your t-shirt of a silhouetted Elvis. Even the Colonel couldn't have come up with a better idea, eh? Look at that. That's Personally Elvis. Look at a few more. 1979 now. The King Speaks. This is the Memphis 1961 interview. This is on Hammer Records. Backside looks like that. And the label looks like that. This was reissued around 80, 81, 82. Like the Personally Elvis, that was reissued again on the AFE label, I think, in the 80s. So this Hammer Records was like a subsidiary of this one. The Elvis tapes, Redwood Records. We've shown this one when we did the Canadian albums, so I won't show it again, but this is the 77 press. It was reissued 10 years later, and it had like a red label. So that's how you can tell the differences. So there's another interview album, and of course this one, which again we showed on the Sun video that I did quite a while ago, so very quick. That's a nice one to have, this one. Got a couple of different labels. That's a white cover, that's the yellow cover, different Sun labels. This one does actually feature some excerpts of some Sun recordings, so that was a nice one to have. This came out in 1977, straight after Elvis's passing. Okay, I think we call it a day for now. Thank you for watching. Until next time, just remember, what is music? Life's no waste.